Warning. This program may contain material of an explicit or graphic nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Broadcasting undead from the B Ward, this is the Post-Mortem Show. I'm Dom.
And I'm JD. And today, we're going to give you our top 5 robberies in horror. Kind of a finite list.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, we're doing heists, burglaries, muggings.
Yeah, whether it's okay, if you say robbery, that's just the best way to phrase it.
Yeah.
It could be a burglary, could be a heist, could be a mugging, could be anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily just robberies. Could be a burglary where no one's there. But it has to be a plot point of the movie, in my opinion, to be on the list. Or be an iconic scene.
Yeah, I've got one on my list that's not a plot point, and I don't even know if it's like a super iconic scene. It's just a very subtle thing that I like so much. And we'll get there.
It deserves to be talked about then. So, before we get into our top 5 robberies, and our good bad movie of the week, and even our horror news, I got some post-mortem news.
Oh, yeah?
It's not so it's not about the show, but it's about one of our loyal listeners, one of our patrons, one of our highest level patrons that we have, Eileen.
Yeah.
So, Eileen sent us an email, which I told you about.
Yeah.
What I didn't tell you about is that this morning, when I went out to my porch, I had a little package waiting for me.
Oh, yeah?
So, Eileen, as part of her patronage, she gets to suggest us some movies to review.
Right.
She emailed us the suggestions of the movies, and then she said, I don't want you to have to pay to review the movies I want you to review. I'm going to order them. I'm going to send them to you. You watch them. You enjoy them. Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
So we got some movies to watch. We have the Asian Cult Cinema Collection version of Wild Zero.
Yes!
Have you seen it?
I talked about Wild Zero in our musical episodes.
So
yeah.
she bought that.
Fuck yes!
Specifically for you.
I
and for
love
me to
this
watch,
movie.
As far as watch this fucker.
Yeah.
She got Wild Zero. It's in my hand right here. Handing it over to you right now. Take a look. Asian Cult Collection.
This is not an easy movie
edition.
to find either.
And another one. Evil has never been so seductive. In Incubus. With William Shatner.
I've never seen this movie.
I've never seen it either, and it's something that she wants us to watch. William Shatner. I believe I have to watch this movie.
I will gladly rewatch Wild Zero and anything else that Eileen sends us.
So, in addition to a Watch This Fucker, it's kind of an at the movies combination with Watch This Fucker.
Yeah.
You've told me to watch Wild Zero, but you couldn't assign it to me.
Yeah.
Because you can't
couldn't
track
find
it down.
Yeah.
Eileen makes it possible. And we're going to watch Incubus.
She's like Santa Claus.
She's like Santa Claus. Eileen, thank you very much. We love you. And Biff loves you too.
That's right.
Thanks for supporting the show. You know, we appreciate you sending us Twin Peaks before, another DVD collection series, and just being a patron and just sending us an email. You know, if you guys, we're not asking you to send us DVDs and things like that, but if you can just send us an email. If you're not Eileen, you're someone else, send us an email. Say, hey, I like what you did there.
Yeah.
I like the cut of your jib.
Yeah, or say, fuck you, I hate you.
Yeah, I like those too. I want to fight. Let's fight. Message me, let's fight.
Yeah. Internet fights. They're the only real fights.
Yeah, so Eileen, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. We really do. We couldn't do it without you. You're one of our go-tos. You know, one of our fans that reaches out the most to us, that makes us want to do this for 111 episodes now.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, indeed. But before we get to the top 5 robberies, we got a little bit of horror news. Horror news.
It was announced last year that Jackson Stewart was writing a sequel to Beyond the Gates. Production is now starting on it, with Brian Yuzna producing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Beyond the Gates 2 with Brian Yuzna?
He previously stated, "I'm writing a sequel to Beyond the Gates, which will definitely take some cues from A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. It's a little bit of a different story and kind of changes up some things. It's definitely bigger in scale and a little bit more in the vein of 80s paranoia horror movies like The Stuff and Society, and even the 70s invasion of the Body Snatchers. So we're getting Beyond the Gates 2 with Brian Yuzna producing."
I can't wait for
That's
that.
fucking great news.
I love Beyond the Gates. It was really good. I like Barbara Crampton being on the VHS tape and stuff. And the whole concept of the game. You know, we talked about these iconic horror VHS
Nightmare and all
of
that.
our childhood. You know, before this movie even existed. When it came out, we were so excited, and we both liked it a lot.
Yeah, I wonder if it would be possible to get our hands on a copy of Nightmare still.
I'm sure we could.
Yeah.
eBay, probably $100 or
Yeah.
something. My wife recently bought Mall Madness, a game from her childhood.
I remember that
for
game,
$80, and
Wow.
it has the talking pieces, and like it's all completely like flawless everything.
Wow.
Mall Madness.
I found the Nightmare video content on YouTube at one point for some of the later Nightmare games, not the original one, and as they kind of declined in quality.
Yeah.
But I'd love to get a game of that going at some point again.
One night I told her, "Okay, you got your Mall Madness. I'm going to get my Dark World." Remember Dark World?
Which one was Dark World?
With a giant like dagger with beads in it that you would shake to do.
Oh!
And there was like scorpion people
Yeah.
and skeletons, different. It was like to set up the game would take you at least like 15, 20 minutes.
I don't think I ever actually played that game, but I remember seeing commercials for it.
I don't remember how good the game is. I just remember the pieces.
Yeah.
And the art.
I had
to
Hero.
have some Dark World.
I had Hero Quest, and that was the same way. Like skeletons with scythes and a big fucking mean-looking gargoyle.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
Hero Quest was good.
I don't know that I ever actually even played the game. I just know that I would set up the board and like pretend I was crawling through a dungeon when I was 8.
That's awesome, Dom. Well, you know, young, alone, only child JD and young, alone, only child Dom. We could have been such good friends.
We could have.
If only the fact that it would be wildly inappropriate because you're 5 years older than me. You'd be the creepy molester friend.
I mean, I
used to have a friend like that. That was like 15 when I was like 10.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
I don't know.
Well, you're friends with a 10-year-old.
Yeah. He must have wanted something.
He touched me.
He did? In your soul?
Anyways. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Beyond the Gates, too. I got to tell you a little story, Dom.
About a man named Jed?
No, about a man named Hornswoggle.
Oh, shit.
I want you to forget about Hornswoggle and the debacle of a reboot that was Leprechaun Origins.
God, I wish I could.
Because the Leprechaun franchise is back.
Yeah.
Sci-Fi Wire just announced that next year we will see the premiere of Leprechaun Returns, a new installment in the original series directed by Steven Kostanski, director of The Void.
Wow.
So, mixed emotions for me. First of all, Steven Kostanski, don't do Leprechaun. I want to see some more of The Void. I want to see some more of your original concepts. That's so much better than any Leprechaun movie. Second of all, if it's going to be a Leprechaun movie and Steven Kostanski is going to direct it, it's going to be good.
Yeah, for sure.
So, even though I don't want him to be tied up with Leprechaun, I do want to see this movie.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe he'll Mike Flanagan this shit, you know?
Yeah, maybe. Sadly, Warwick Davis is not returning for the new film.
He's probably old as fuck right now, though.
Lyndon Porco takes over for Davis for Returns, and I watched the trailer, this little teaser thing, and it seems like it could work.
Okay.
It's not like Hornswoggle's just like a nameless... Why even cast someone...
Especially because he was CG most of the time.
Yeah, like, well, it was so stupid. You know, it's not like that. It's still the humor and the same concept, so could be good. So, Kostanski says the film picks up 25 years after the events of the 1993 original. So it's a sequel to the first film.
Okay.
Not taking care of any kind of Leprechaun in the Hood.
Right.
Not going to do no good. No IC, none of that.
No Leprechaun in space.
No Leprechaun in space. So, 25 years after the events of 1993, which found a maniacal leprechaun doing whatever it takes, including committing gruesome murder, to track down a stolen pot of gold. Leprechaun Returns finds the leprechaun revived in the modern day when a group of sorority girls unwittingly awaken him while tearing down a cabin to build a new sorority house. The film will bring back a co-star from the original film in Mark Holton, who will reprise his role as Ozzy, the goofball.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
The like retarded friend of the little kid, Ozzy. Grown man. Little
Awesome.
child.
Awesome.
Little child. The new sequel was written by Suzanne Keeley, who made Ash vs. the Evil Dead, one of the writers on Ash vs. the Evil Dead.
Okay.
It's a Sci-Fi Pictures exclusive, unfortunately, so it's going to be a sci-fi picture, like, for TV, and it's going to premiere in March 2019.
I'm down.
So, hopefully this will work.
I'm a fan of Kostanski's work. I actually marathoned Manborg and The Void, and what was his other one that he did?
Father's Day?
Father's Day. Yeah, all in
all
one
those,
night.
Like, okay, so The Void is something is not like the others.
Yeah.
The Void is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It won my Morty last year for my favorite movie. It's a masterpiece. Father's Day and things like that, they're funny. It's Troma-esque, but
Father's Day was batshit. That movie was crazy.
Yeah, but you got to think, like, one is not like the other.
Oh, no,
The Void
for sure.
is a masterpiece. The others are like Troma movies.
Yeah.
Which is not a knock on them. They are funny.
Yeah. Manborg was also its own thing. It stands on its own as whatever it is, because there was so much ingenuity that went into making that movie with all the miniatures and the stop motion and all the stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it was ultimately a silly throwback to
very
to
hard for
80s.
me to get through.
Yeah. I liked it a lot. I was a big fan of it, but yeah, it was definitely not the same kind of movie that The Void was.
Yeah, The Void, it just stands on its own.
Yeah.
It's something great.
Yeah, for sure.
Goes places you don't think it's going to go.
Yeah.
I heard nothing about it before I saw it, and that's the best way to experience it.
Same with Father's Day. Father's Day goes places.
I told you about it before you saw
Yeah,
it.
that's true, but you didn't really prepare me.
There's a lot of father rape.
Yeah, and the ending of that movie is just absolutely nuts. All right, so Hulu is developing a series titled Demons, set against the backdrop of the hysteria known as the Satanic Panic in the 80s and 90s. From the synopsis, satanic ritual abuse was the subject of a moral panic that originated in the United States in the 1980s, spreading throughout many parts of the world by the late 1990s. Legends of satanic ritual abuse involved reports of physical and sexual abuse of people in the context of occult satanic rituals. The series is written by Juliet Lashinsky-Ravine, that's a hard name to say, and it revolves around Marilyn Jones, the seductive patient zero in the frenzy surrounding the satanic ritual abuse, and her husband Bennett Lewis, a brilliant but manipulative psychiatrist. So, while stories of satanic ritual abuse make for good fiction, there was never any proof that any of it actually happened, and the fact is there's more evidence against it than there ever was for it, and the Satanic Panic was like this moralistic fear campaign perpetrated against society by Christian religious fanatics.
Oh yeah, that house down the street, that's where devil worship started.
Yeah, every town had that, you know, and it was just their excuse to like shake people up. So I'm hoping that this show addresses that aspect of it instead of going for like the cheap shot and trying to instigate a new satanic panic.
Yeah. Well, it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Hulu's done some good work on some of their original stuff. So
I don't have Hulu. I did watch 11/22/80. Where is it? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The James Franco Stephen King thing.
Yeah.
That was really good. Actually.
Okay.
That series actually converted my son to be a vegetarian.
Really?
Yeah, I've been a vegetarian for about 14, 15 years now.
Uh-huh.
I don't go out there toot my own horn. I'm not trying to convert people. I just choose to live a animal, carcass-free lifestyle. Is
Right.
what I like to say. So, my son, kind of thought about it, but there's a scene in that with the killing of a cow.
That's right. Yeah, I heard about that.
And he saw that, and instantly, like the next day, he decided he's going to be a vegetarian. I never once told him to.
Yeah.
So, it's very effective.
Nice. Yeah, and they did the Scarlet Letter also. Hulu did that, and that was really well done. So, they're proving themselves to be another Netflix, and
Yeah.
I'll be interested enough to check it out.
Arthur Kulifer, who directed the ultra-gory Headless,
Yeah.
is appearing on Scott Shermer's The Bad Man, which I talked about last episode. But now he's making a new film entitled Smut the Movie. Kulifer describes Smut the Movie as follows. It's a horror movie about a third-shift porn store clerk/janitor having to deal with a growing cult of porn ghouls in his video arcade, conjuring strange amorphous creatures made of an aetherplasm that conforms to desire, and what happens when he succumbs to pheromones and temptation with one of these things.
Adventures of the Jizz Mopper.
Scott has been referring to the sculpt as Pussy Chicken and starts making babies. To be fair, Part of the subplot has to do with video cassettes as an agent of mystery, magic, sexuality, and evil. I suppose I sort of consider it as Videodrome. It has much to do with the way we, as a society, have decided to ban our genitals and why we're so afraid of them. I think for the audience, dealing with what I intend to do to them will be very character building. So he's coming out with some strong words here. Shooting's scheduled for December with set construction and casting already underway. I've seen some stills of the production of this movie and it looks fun.
Nice.
Forbidden Films aims to launch a crowdfunding campaign early next year, which will include pre-orders for the movie. The release target for Smut the Movie is next summer. Smut the Movie. It's only porn if it turns you on.
Well, Headless definitely made its mark. So,
and Found.
Yeah.
I think Headless is great for what it is. It's ultra gory. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's great effects and stuff, but Found is a better movie to me in that and on an emotional level.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, not on a, like, oh, this is gore, this is disgusting. Found is a great movie.
Yeah. Headless was the movie inside of Found that they just decided to make.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was definitely... Headless was more of like a genre piece.
Yeah.
Where Found was a serious movie. But, you know, Headless definitely showed that he was not afraid to go places.
And he's the perfect director for this.
Yeah.
You know, based on his previous work in Headless, directing Headless.
Yeah.
He's going to make this porn store horror movie work.
Awesome. Blue Fox Entertainment's Primal Rage Bigfoot Reborn is coming to video-on-demand platforms on May 1st, 2018. Primal Rage follows Ashley and Max Carr as they, lost deep in the forest, are stalked by a terrifying creature that just might be Bigfoot. Soon they find themselves embroiled in a strange land of Native American myth and legend turned all too real, hopelessly trying to survive with a handful of unsavory locals. They must fight against the monster in a desperate battle of life and death. So this is director Patrick McGee's first feature-length film, but he has several noteworthy makeup and special effects credits, including Zombie Strippers, Beyond Reanimator, Jurassic Park 3, Spider-Man, Alien vs. Predator, and Men in Black 3. So this is a special effects guy.
Is this a serious Bigfoot movie or a Bigfoot's Gonna Fuck You movie?
So the film... I'll get to that. The film promises to be practical effects driven, and production stills and teaser clips can be found on Bloody Disgusting, and basically there's an axe-wielding Bigfoot monster.
That's awesome.
I'm stoked to see this.
Bigfoot Hatchet.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Bryce Dallas Howard episode of Black Mirror called Nosedive?
I have not.
So it's about a social media real-time rating system where people are given...
Oh, wait, yeah, no, I did see that.
Yeah, they're basically given a social credit score based on interactions with other people.
Yeah.
You did see that one?
I did see that, yeah.
It's so good. I love the episode. I have a huge boner for Bryce Dallas Howard. She's like a young Julianne Moore.
Mm-hmm.
She's got that ginger fire. Ginger fire crotch. No. The temptation is too great, though.
I'm over it.
Anyways, in real life horror news, the concept of that episode may come to real life in China. Chinese authorities are apparently trialing a new social credit system, which sounds eerily reminiscent of episode writer Charlie Brooker's vision. As the Telegraph reports, citizens will be scored between 350 and 950. Good deeds such as donating blood, charity work, or posting positive messages about the country will result in a higher rating. Conversely, being friends with someone undesirable on social media will lead to a lower score, as will canceling a reservation or engaging in other bad deeds. Higher ratings will be rewarded with everything from cheaper public transport to shorter waits at hospitals, while low-ranking citizens will have restricted access to hotels, restaurants, and a slower internet speed.
Jesus Christ.
The terrifying prospect is on course to be tested by 2020. This is ultimate regulation of your life.
That's fucking terrible.
Social score, which means conservative score, which means going with the flow.
Yeah.
You're going with the flow. Your rebellious score will determine... You can get slower internet if you don't agree with those in power.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying.
We would be fucked.
Yes. These episodes would not exist.
No, not at all.
China.
Wow.
We cannot host the bandwidth. We cannot... All your downloads, all that kind of stuff. There's no way we could do it.
No.
If we were living in a Chinese fucking dictatorship, which is what this sounds like. This is fucking Nazi China. If this happens, it's time to go to war. Time to go to war, Dom.
Yeah.
I'm going to swim across. I'm going to ride Biff.
With a knife between your teeth?
A knife in my teeth. I'm going to be on Biff's back as he paddles across the ocean. Either that or we're going to begin to dig a series of holes in our backyard.
That's what you got to do, yeah.
We're directly above China. Me and Biff, we're going to tunnel ourselves in there.
Infiltrate, get some people out.
This is my Red Dawn.
Wow. That's fucked up. I'm not cool with that.
Not good at all.
And I have a feeling Donald Trump would see something like that and be like, not a bad idea.
This is a tremendous idea. This rating system.
Fuck that.
Alright, that's it for horror news.
Yeah. We'll
Watch that episode of Black Mirror if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, it made people act really, really weird to each other.
I'm about half of the way through the next season. That just came out. But that episode was one of my favorites because the fact that it's like when she's down and out, some people who would pick her up and actually help her.
Yeah.
And it still lowers their score.
Yeah. Stick shit. I actually haven't been able to finish the most recent season of Black Mirror because I just started antidepressants and I can't deal with that shit right now.
Alright, we will be back with the good movie and the bad movie after this.
I've got a doozy.
Oh, yes. Already up this month on our Patreon, we have Creepy Pastas.
Hey, it's a creepy pasta. That's a spicy horror meatball.
My Story Judgment, Delivery by Dom, and my old story, Hunting Season.
We have Postmortem Off Topic. Featuring stories about Gigi Allen, the Illuminati, and Count Cagliostro.
As well as the Best of JD Horror Deathmatch DVD video download.
There will be more.
Music from Mechanical Ghost, Grave Command, Public Defecation, Weapon A, and Old Scratch and the Necrophonic Orchestra.
And my new documentary series, Strogs Docs.
Strogs Docs.
Episode 1, The Selfie Killer.
And coming soon, a new creepypasta written by me called It Came from Fox News, more off topics, and Strogs Docs 2.
Strogs Docs 2, and I got a good one coming up.
What up, Strogs?
That's on patreon.com/postmortem show.
It's time for the good movie. And the bad movie.
So, Dom, you've made it very clear you have a stinker this week.
No, I have a doozy. I have something that we have never had before on this show.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's going to be my good movie. So,
what?
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start us off.
Yeah, go ahead and start us off.
With the movie that, even after my review, I kind of want you to watch.
All right.
Because I think you might appreciate it more than I would. So, 2017 European supernatural thriller, written and directed by Jaime Balaguer, writer of Wreck.
Okay.
Starring Elliot Cohen, Franco Portenti, and Anna Luro. It's called Muse. Have you seen this?
I've seen its presence, but I have not seen the movie.
So, Samuel Solomon, a literature professor, has been off work for almost a year after the tragic death of his girlfriend. Samuel has been suffering from a reoccurring nightmare in which a woman is brutally murdered by a strange ritual. Suddenly, the same woman who appears every night in his dreams is found dead in exactly the same circumstances as the dream. Samuel sneaks into the crime scene and he meets Rachel, who's also dreamed about the very same murder. Together, they will do whatever they can to discover the identity of the mystery woman entering a terrifying world controlled by the figures who've inspired artists throughout the time, the Muses.
Interesting.
In the cold open, Sam is a popular professor who just completed a novel. After a long week, he is looking forward to relaxing and banging his student girlfriend.
Hey, it's a good weekend.
After they fuck, she makes him promise to love her forever, which he does, and then slits her wrist in the bathtub, killing herself.
Whoa.
In his house.
Okay.
Even though she's his student, not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
We then get some of the coolest opening credits I've ever seen. Sort of like a medical journal like Reanimator, combined with whispers, art, trees, blood, all kinds of stuff, set with this awesome classical music. So, this opening credits is something, even just to watch a movie for that, it's worth it. We then jump forward a year to Sam's nightmare about a woman getting smeared in black paint and getting her throat slit by some creepy old hags in the manner of his dream. He decides to try to get out of this funk by having dinner with a coworker, tells her about the nightmares. As he gets home, he gets a phone call from her to put on the news where the murder he described to her in his dream has actually happened in real life.
Black paint, slit throat?
Everything.
Wow.
So he decides to break into the crime scene and check it all out. He's pursuing a woman who walks in who also broke in, and they both freak out until they realize they're both here for the dreams. So there's a lot of... You have to kind of suspend your disbelief.
A lot of coincidence.
Coincidence, just to set up the way this whole thing works out, you know. To where instantly there I was like, but the muses, like Greek mythology, the muses, you know, that kind of like fascinates me, so that's why I even wanted to watch it, so... The woman also having the dreams, Rachel, is a prostitute for some gangsters who she owed $100,000. Even with it paid, they won't let her stop working in a completely unnecessary subplot. You know, there's so much going already with what I've described. You got to throw in this like gangster, prostitute,
and it doesn't really do anything to push the actual plot of the movie forward.
Not at all.
Okay.
To try to get to the bottom of what is happening, they try to find an ancient-looking Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future, who has survived the muses in the past.
Actually, Christopher Lloyd?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, Christopher Lloyd.
I'm glad he's doing more horror.
Yeah. After, what was that? I'm Not a Serial
Killer, yeah.
He explains the muses are beautiful and inspirational, but they will kill everything and everyone you love. While there isn't a lot of gore, it's done well. There's a great ice-picking stabbing scene. Good haunting score and cinematography. The writing is good, although there's a bit too much happening with the prostitute-gangster dynamic that didn't need to be there. Could have benefited from more concise edit, since at an hour and 50 minutes of runtime, if 20 minutes were chopped off, it would have held my attention a lot more. I found myself checking the time at 50 minutes in and groaning when there was a whole nother hour.
Oh, no.
There are some stupid twists that make me groan as well. I think you would like this movie more than me. Honestly, if you watch it, you'd probably give it maybe a full rating or 2 point higher than I would. But I would recommend to our audience, if this sounds interesting, see Veronica first, because it's better. Right. Veronica's better. This is Spanish. This is in English, though. But it's a Spanish director. It's definitely European influenced. You can just tell by the framing. It's a little different than an American horror movie.
Okay.
IMDb gives it a 5.2. And I would agree at 5.2. One of the times that I'm actually
right on board with it.
With the average, 5.2. We didn't even come up with a rating system.
We didn't.
What's our rating system today, Don?
I don't know.
to just put you on the spot.
Axe wielding Bigfoots.
Yeah, you have 5.2 axe wielding Bigfoots.
Awesome.
I'm gonna give it 5.2 of Eileen's packages. Thank you for your package, Eileen.
Your generous package.
You little trap, you.
All right, so my bad movie is a 2017 Irish supernatural horror film directed by Dennis Bartok, streaming now on Netflix. It's called Nails. Paralyzed after a terrible accident, Dana struggles to regain her life and family when she encounters a malevolent ghost in her hospital room. Sadly, this movie was not about an ex-convict turned wrestler who came to the WWF to get revenge on the Big Boss Man.
Big Boss Man!
Big Boss Man!
You know, he actually jacked Vince up to the wall for more money right before his only match that was ever on a pay-per-view.
Really?
And, like, almost beat up Vince McMahon.
Wow, that guy's nuts.
Got more money. Yeah, he is.
Oh,
living the gimmick.
Living the gimmick, right
living
there.
Living the gimmick.
Yeah. This movie centers on a partially paralyzed woman haunted by the ghost of a psychotic orderly who would euthanize children against their will, and hung himself in her hospital room when he was discovered. The ghost is called Nails because the orderly would collect the finger and toenail clippings of his victims, and because he had long finger and toenails in his spectral form, which he would use to harm his victims. So at first this movie started out good. It's a genuinely scary concept, being unable to move or speak and being haunted by a spirit that you can't tell anybody about. But the movie quickly abandons this concept for the same old hackneyed jump scare shit and an unnecessarily convoluted story. The acting in the movie is okay. Nobody particularly stands out, but nobody particularly sucks either. It was an adequate production in that sense. And the director does manage to create some tension every now and again, but then invalidates the tension with horrible CG that creates unintentional silliness. By the end of the movie, it's practically a slapstick comedy, but not on purpose. It did get one cringe out of me at one point, though, and what I consider the money shot of the whole movie, which is the forced removal of a tracheotomy tube. Tracheotomies freak me out.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where the woman has to pull her own out, and she can't do it, so she has to have her daughter pull it out of her. And I actually was like, ugh! When it happened, did that whole curl up thing. Huh? Yeah, that effect was good. The movie really suffers in the special effects department beyond that, though. Nails look creepy in the shadows, but when they brought him out into the light, the CG was so bad and cartoonish that it completely removed the scare factor. And there's also a scene where he scratches a message into someone's skin, and it looks so bad. I've seen DVD menu animation that looks better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looked like they superimposed a cartoon over the person's torso.
Yeah.
If you don't have the budget to do that and make it look good, you have to be more creative than this.
Yes.
It would have been more creative to have her look down and be like, ah, and cover up her belly and then pull her hands away and it would be scratched in there.
Yeah.
That would have looked better. This movie might have made a better short film because it started out strong, but it became tedious as it wore on. The ending scene, the final kill, is absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's just so stupid that I actually threw my hands up into the air and went, ugh, why am I watching this?
Because you're dumb.
Yeah.
And you see a movie called Nails with the same box art that I also
saw. As every other movie.
The same box art I also saw and went, I will never watch this fucking trash.
Well,
and Don saw that box art and he went, Nails? Oh, give it a shot.
I didn't go into it actually looking for a bad movie. I went into it because I liked the description of the paralyzed woman.
Yeah.
Having to deal with the ghost. But, she just kind of becomes unparalyzed. Over
just
a
the
period
box
of
art,
days.
I can't get down with it.
This is the director's first movie, and it feels like he bit off more than he can chew with it. It's not the worst movie ever made, and it had glimmers of inspiration in it. I would watch something else that this director made just to see if he improves over time, but this was just ultimately poorly executed to the point of mediocrity. IMDb gives it 4.6 out of 10, and just like you, I'm going to agree. 4.6 out of 10 Eileen's generous packages.
Thank you, Eileen, for your generous package. Your abundant, meaty package. My good movie this week. It's not about Eileen's generous package. 2017, directed by Benjamin Arfman.
Is he a dog?
It's Biff. Biff directed this movie.
That's his screen name. his nom de plume.
Arfman. Starring Kent Osborne and Dylan Sprouse. It's called Dismissed. It's on Netflix. Have you seen this?
I've seen that pop up too.
So it's streaming now on Netflix.
Okay.
Worth a watch. An idealistic straight-edge teacher is drawn down a horrid rabbit hole by an honor student when he gives him a B+ on a paper. So it's teacher horror.
Okay.
I think that this genre has a place in society today more now than ever.
Sure.
Because as the news comes of a Kevin Spacey and people like this, people in positions of power, Weinstein, for every time this happens, you gotta think that there's probably some guy getting screwed out there that didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
But everyone will instantly ruin their career, their livelihood, everything's down the toilet based on an accusation.
Yeah, because even if the accusation, there are true accusations out there, people also have this ingrained love of seeing people who have authority fall.
Brought down.
Yeah.
Yeah, people in positions of power. And that's what this movie is all about. Lucas is the new kid in town. When he joins Mr. Butler's English class, he blows his new teacher away with his intelligence and attention to detail. Beating him at chess and telling him about how he's going to Harvard, he begins to display highly competitive tendencies. When threatened by a jock, He tells him he will stab him in his windpipe.
Wow.
And just punks him out big time. When he is told he would be second on the chess team behind someone who had seniority, he creates an explosion in chemistry class that puts the kid who would have been first string on the chess team, Alex, out of commission for the semester.
Wow.
Because not being the best isn't good enough, as this character lets you know over and over verbally and with his actions.
Is he an Asian dad?
He's the Asian dad of horror.
Okay.
So, I love teacher horror movies when the teacher is the victim. You have to think about, like, in our culture, any kid accused or did anything to a teacher, the kid would definitely have the upper hand.
Oh,
the
for
teacher
sure.
would be screwed. Lucas reminds me of my friend Mike, who I dubbed Tactical Mike, but turned up to 11. Dylan Sprouse did a great job and is super creepy as Lucas. I had no idea when he was the kid from... Okay. I'm going to rephrase myself.
Okay.
Because I can't talk.
Okay.
I had no idea that the guy in this movie as Lucas was one of the kids who played in the movie Big Daddy with Adam Sandler.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
It was actually twins that played that role.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like Full House.
Yeah.
Well, he grew up into this kid.
Wow.
And it's so much better than Big Daddy.
That's not a stretch.
The best part, though, is Kent Osborne as a teacher. He's very awkward. He's a doormat kind of guy that gets pushed further and further and further. You can only push me so far until I break. The movie deals with how someone in a position of power can be devastated by just accusations. Kind of like what's going on with all the celebrities in the media right now. Well, of course, if anything is true, these people deserve to be exposed. Sometimes I wonder if in our frenzy, innocent people can get ruined.
Yeah.
There's a moment when Mr. Butler has to make a decision whether to give in and give the kid an A so he can stop trying to ruin his life, every aspect of his life, with his family, his wife, his children, everything, or give him the B plus he thought he deserved. What he does popped me big time and sold me on this movie.
Okay.
Which is about like 1/3 into the movie, and instantly I was there.
When he turns the tables?
No, he doesn't really turn the tables. His decision is basically like, fuck you.
Okay.
I'm not going to put up with this. No matter what's going to happen, you might take me down, but you know what? Fuck you.
You're coming with me.
I'm never gonna give in to you.
Nice.
Know? Which is like a rebellious teacher to a student. You know, it's like a punk rock role reversal.
Yeah.
The story has been told. While this isn't as good as 187,
Great movie.
It's a good one-time watch and better than a bunch of the shit that's on Netflix. Better than a lot of the movies we reviewed recently on the show. So, IMDb gives it a 5.9. What's our rating system?
Eileen's Generous Packages.
Eileen's Generous Packages. I'm going to give it 7.8 inches of Eileen's Generous Package.
Wow, that's a adequate amount of inches.
Overflowing with DVDs from the 80s.
Sweet.
I love you, Eileen. You're such a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's good peeps.
She's good peeps.
So, my good movie, my doozy, my movie with a result that I've never had on this show before is Rock and Roll Nightmare, a.k.a. The Edge of Hell.
We talked about this.
Yeah, it kept coming up in my research for movies with musicians, and it's something, man. It is something. So this is a 1987 Canadian softcore porn musical horror.
Is that what you say?
Yeah.
As you're slapping their ass?
Hoser, take it, Hoser.
Hey, you like it, eh?
Take it, Hoser. Take it, buddy.
You like when I smack your bum, eh?
Directed by John Fasano. Streaming now on YouTube, of all places. At a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere, a hopeful hair metal band seeking inspiration to record their upcoming new LP will soon find themselves in a furious confrontation against the Prince of Darkness himself. So I'm going to come right out and say that this is not a good movie at all. In fact, it may be one of the worst movies ever made, but it's so insanely, absurdly, ridiculously bad that it breaches the plane of shittiness into the realm of once again being a good movie. It's like an inversion of all that is bad into something amazing.
It's not like Dude Bro Party Massacre 3, where it's bad, but it's good because it's funny.
Well, Dude Bro Party Massacre 3 is bad on purpose.
Yeah.
This is not. Everything about this movie screams amateur. The writing, the direction, the acting, the editing, the special effects, everything but the score, which was actually quite good until the editor/director managed to fuck that up too. So this movie was written by...
Is there a sound clip in the movie? In the score?
A sound clip in the score?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like of character dialogue? That's the 80s and early 90s.
Oh, no, it's even worse than that. It's even worse than that. I'll get to it. So, this movie was written by its star/producer, John Michael Thor. His name is spelled Jon-Michael. John Michael Thor. Who I'll get to in a minute. And it comes across like it was written by a horny 12-year-old 80s hair metal head with attention deficit disorder. It's all over the place. Random shit happens for no reason. Characters disappear and reappear. Characters are introduced and never followed up on. And the final act of the movie is 100% grade A, pure batshit insanity. When it tries to become an epic and more than a little homoerotic battle of good versus evil. John Michael Thor has no idea what he's doing, had no idea what he was doing when he wrote this movie, but it seems like everything was written in earnest and that he really wanted to make a rockin' sexy horror movie. He went all in on how bad the story was and was shitty with conviction, which is an admirable trait in its own right.
So the actor makes a shitty movie.
Yeah. The direction and production is as bad as the writing. Every single shot in this movie is poorly framed, jumpily edited, and way too long to the point that it becomes uncomfortable to watch. And you wonder that if the movie forgot that it was movieing and became a still picture. While the movie had a competent score, someone had the bright idea of double scoring the movie so that the horror score was playing on top of bad 80s hair metal through the majority of the scenes, and the two sounds didn't jive. Had someone tried to intentionally create 80s hair metal that blended a horror movie score, it would sound like Goblin, basically. And that might have been one thing. Here, it was two completely separate, incongruent songs playing on top of each other, which just sounded like chaos. Another example of the bad direction and lack of attention to detail is the myriad...
That's like when I edit one of our creepypastas.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm telling you this story as this... No, I've got better. I've gotten better at it.
You've gotten good at it, yeah.
Patrons, last one was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
Handsome Stranger, check it out. Now available on our Patreon.
Another example of the bad direction and lack of attention to detail in this movie is the myriad of establishing shots of the farmhouse in this film, because goddamn near every scene has an establishing shot, but it's always of the farmhouse. And the farm is supposed to be hours away from civilization in the middle of nowhere. They go out of their way to make this clear, and yet a majority of these establishing shots have cars and headlights moving around in the background, and you can even see neighboring houses off to the side. So instead of conveying isolation, it was clear that this house was right smack in the middle of a busy neighborhood.
Got a green screen around that.
Yeah, they didn't. They did not. The special effects in this movie are, of course, because it was made in 1987, all practical and cheesy as fuck. There are these little imp demons running around that look like Muppet cocks. And
I need to watch this.
And the devil puppet itself, in the end, is 100% ridiculous. It looks like some sort of like cracked out marionette. There is some quality prosthetic work and an interesting scene where a demon rips out of a guy, but on the whole, the effects are total schlock. That said, I would take these special effects over bad CG any day of the week. There's something endearing about a bad demon puppet fighting a greased-up muscle man with Aquanet poofed hair that can never be replaced by run-of-the-mill computer graphics.
That's definitely true. That will always hold a special place in my heart.
Even in all of its shittiness, it still feels organic and concrete. The acting is wooden and terrible across the board with stunted dialogue and shells of characters, and it's bad in a way that only 80s horror movie acting can be. It was totally a throwback to movies of USA Up All Night, and these guys were really trying, and it showed. The one standout in this movie, probably by design, is its star/writer/producer, the aforementioned John Michael Thor. This guy is the most 80s person to ever 80s his way out of the 80s. This
is an 80s movie, though, right?
Yeah, 87.
Yeah.
Yeah. He seriously looks like a hair metal themed Masters of the Universe figure come to life. I have a picture of him for you, and I think we should post this up for our fans.
Okay. He'll be on the fan art. Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, I have a slight boner.
Yeah.
But it's almost like that 7-year-old kid boner when you see He-Man.
Yeah. He's a very, for those of you who aren't going to bother to go look for it, imagine if you took He-Man's...
It's going to be on the episode.
Yeah. You took He-Man's body and you put, like, Sebastian Bach from Skid Row's head on it, but then put...
I'd even go Poison.
Yeah, well, then...
I'd go C.C. DeVille's
head.
Yeah,
then you put C.C. DeVille's hair on it, and then you grease him up and make him wear a studded leather loincloth. That's what this guy is. This guy looks 1,000 times more like He-Man than even Dolph Lundgren did. But at the same time, he constantly exudes this kind of nondescript politeness that only a Canadian can. And boy, howdy is this guy Canadian. Apparently, on top of being an amateur film writer and producer, this guy is also a bodybuilding champion, a Norse historian, and the singer of one of the best/worst epic 80s hair metal Viking rock bands ever created. Thor, in all caps. I have a song.
Name?
I have a song, and I will play it as our final song.
That's our last song?
That's our last song. This shit... The fact that this person exists and I didn't know about it until this week makes me wonder what the fuck I've been doing with my life. Because this guy is pure insanity.
That's awesome.
I've ragged on this movie a lot, but in spite of its many, many, many flaws, I really did love it.
I need to see this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that it's an issue for me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a question. It's when.
Yeah,
it's
when.
not will I see it,
Yeah,
it's when.
It's a matter of when. The starting of the movie, it starts out real rocky and slow, but the last 15 minutes of it descend into absolute hallucinatory madness, completely out of left field, and it was not at all what I expected it to be. And without it, this may have just been another bad 80s horror movie, but the final scene must be seen. It makes everything that came before it totally worthwhile. Movies like this rarely get made anymore, and when they do, they're usually done tongue-in-cheek or ironically or, a tribute like Dude Bill Party Massacre would be. A truly terrible movie being made in earnest is a gem when you find it, and I don't think I've laughed so much at a movie in a long, long time.
That's why the disaster artist in The Room is so popular.
And that's what I'm thinking. Is this movie is a solid gold example of the kind of nuttiness that can only come from the 80s before everyone got jaded and cynical, and it is the Room of 80s horror movies.
The Room of 80s horror movies.
Yeah, and it needs to be watched. So, IMDb gives this movie 4.1 out of 10. And for the first time ever, I'm giving this movie 2 ratings. In terms of quality filmmaking goes, it's a 3 at best. But for pure entertainment value, I'm giving this bitch 9 out of 10 Eileen's Generous Packages.
All right.
Yeah, this movie you
it's
can
an entertaining package.
Yeah, you can watch it on Netflix right now. Go on Netflix if you have not seen it and look up Rock and Roll Nightmare and bear with it because it starts out...
it's streaming on Netflix.
Yeah, streaming on Netflix with tits.
All right.
It starts out painfully slow.
James Franco needs to devote himself to making this instead of The Room.
That would be... This would be should be his next project. He can hit the gym, he can dye his hair blue... And, I also strongly recommend you look up Thor Band on YouTube and check out some of their music videos because they're just as insane as this movie. And that is Rock and Roll Nightmare, my doozy.
I can't wait to check it out. Rock and Roll Nightmare will be seen by the likes of me very soon.
Nice. I expect a full report on my desk.
All right, that's it for the good movie and the bad movie. We will come back with the top 5 robberies in all of horror after this. You've heard about our Patreon. Something you can do for $0.
0 dimes.
Something we want you to be a part of is our Facebook group, Postmortem Show Horror Movie Podcast.
That's right. You can get on Facebook, look that up, and interact directly with JD and myself. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, share your stupid memes, get shit talked by me, just don't post racist shit.
Other than different pictures of H.P. Lovecraft.
That's the kind of racist shit that's okay to post. Look up the Facebook group, Postmortem Show Horror Movie Podcast. Join us online.
One of us. One of us.
Hey, we're back with the top 5 robberies in all of horror movies.
Yeah.
So, could be a burglary, could be a robbery,
A shakedown.
could be a shakedown. Shimmy and shake. Oh, yeah. This is a list, it kind of spur of the moment.
Yep.
I came up with the idea of top 5 robberies. And if you tried to research this, you would not find many.
No,
This has to be kind of from memory.
Yeah.
One of those lists that's so... The search terms would be so vague.
Yeah.
You never get it.
I just got a bunch of list of like heist films and stuff.
Yeah,
and
bullshit.
There were a couple horror movies that came up in there, but yeah, on the whole, it was not an easy one to research.
I'll start us off this week.
All right.
My number 5. It's a Vietnamese home invasion horror comedy called Crush the Skull.
That's my number 2.
Your number 2?
Yeah.
Wow.
I really liked that movie.
Yeah, I reviewed it on the show.
Yeah.
You watch it. It's still on Amazon Prime, guys.
Yeah.
Crush the Skull. Check it out. We will talk more about it at number 2.
Yeah. My number 5 is a kind of underrated sequel. Even though the first movie did have a robbery element to it and that was important, this whole movie is a heist movie, and that was the sequel from Dusk Till Dawn, Texas Blood Money.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a bank robbery movie with
yeah.
vampires.
Yeah.
And get a little bit of the T-1000. You know,
Yeah.
flexing his horror chops. And it was a good movie, you know, especially for a direct-to-video sequel that was made by, with the exception of Danny Trejo and Tom Savini, no one else who was involved in the original movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no George Clooney in for Dusk Till Dawn.
No Tarantino, no Robert Rodriguez, nothing.
Finally, it's very funny how you mentioned that, because my number 4 is from Dusk Till Dawn.
Hey!
The first movie.
Yeah.
The gas station robbery.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Shoot the bottles. Throw the torch. We're gonna light this motherfucker on fire. I never said help us. I saw you mouth the words help us. You by the beer cooler with your back turned. You mouth the words help us. Texas Ranger Earl McGraw.
Yeah.
Trying to make the save. Nope.
Didn't do it.
Not that day.
Yeah.
Not that day, Earl McGraw.
The Gecko Brothers. All right, my number 4 is something that I mentioned previous in the show. It's not a main feature of the movie, and it's not even something that's like an iconic scene, but it's a scene that I love, and it's when Blade shakes down the cop in Blade. You know, there's that ghoul cop who works for the vampires, and while Blade's kicking his ass, he's stealing his watch.
Yeah.
And the girl's like, "Oh, you're robbing him now?" And he's like, "Hey, this operation doesn't fund itself."
Yeah. That's a good one.
Great little scene.
My number 3 is 68 Kill. The convenience store robbery,
Yeah.
68 Kill. We reviewed that not that far back, in the history
Maybe
of the
5 or 6 episodes ago.
Yeah. And I love 68 Kill.
Yeah, great movie.
And this convenience store robbery, it offsets the movie. It makes it go in a completely different direction than you thought it would be. It's almost like a throwaway scene.
Yeah.
You never expect this character to come back, but good shit.
Yeah, it's sort of the catalyst for a bunch of other stuff, even though it seems like it wouldn't be.
Trent Hogg nailed it out of the park with 68 Kill.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies I've seen in years.
Yeah.
I compare it on the level of Deathgasm in a movie in The Void.
Yeah.
Movies that I've seen recently in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Kind of hold up.
Yeah, it'll go down as one of the better movies of this decade. That and like The Greasy Strangler and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Greasy Strangler.
My number 3 is the jewelry store robbery and Witching and Bitching.
Oh, that's a great
With
one.
the guys in costumes, the Silver Jesus and the SpongeBob guy.
Yeah, you know what? It's really a great robbery scene, but also the way it's filmed, the cinematography is very well done.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Alex de la Iglesia. He's going to make a good movie. And that one, it's funny, but it's also intense. It was done really well.
I would have never watched a movie called Witching and Bitching.
No, I skipped over it numerous times.
Yeah, me too. Just in the box art and everything, it's the old woman, but she's great in the movie. But you would never watch that. Witching and Bitching?
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. Why would I even click on that? Know what it's called? Well, it wasn't. It was actually the Bruja de blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
the town
whatever
they're from. The
from.
witches of whatever.
And that's the Americanized Netflix name.
Yeah.
And Alex de la Iglesia is great. Perdido Durango. So good.
That dude's the shit.
Yes. I'll watch anything he makes.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So my number 3, right?
Yeah.
No, I had 68 Kill my number 3.
Oh, yeah, that's
my
right.
Number 2.
Yeah.
My number 2 is the robbery scene from House of 1,000 Corpses with Captain Spaulding. And he identifies the guy in the mask. He knows that he's the retarded guy from down the street.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Motherfucker got blood on my best clown suit.
You don't get blood on my best clown suit.
Fuck your mama. Fuck your daddy. Most of all, fuck you.
And then just blows his fucking head off.
Reverse robbery.
Reverse robbery scene, yeah. Starts off as a robbery. You don't rob iconic horror movie characters.
No, you don't rob a guy who dresses like a clown for a living. That's if you take anything home from this show, it's that.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Crush the Skull, the whole movie, because the whole movie is a robbery gone wrong.
It's such a great movie.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it. I've only seen it once.
Yeah,
the first
me too.
time I
No, I saw it twice because I showed it to Michelle.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that one, if you hadn't have reviewed it, it probably would have completely flown under my radar.
I think the director and just the whole Vietnamese gangster culture and stuff, and how he took a little bit of that with like also the traditional Asian culture and combined those two together in a robbery situation.
The Asian guy who thinks he's black.
And it's awkward. Yeah. It's just so great. It's kind of like what's the name of that movie? The Clint Eastwood movie. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
With Asian people, Clint Eastwood.
Oh, fuck.
Gran Torino.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how that movie is good because it combines this story with a culture.
Yeah.
It takes elements from a culture. You know?
Yeah.
While they're both Asian, I don't want to say that that's completely racist, I guess, to compare it to Gran Torino. But while they're both Asian and not the same country or descent or anything like that, it's a combination of a culture with a situation.
Right.
You know? And I really like Crush the Skull.
And there's a lot of good comedy in that movie, too.
A great comedy, and it had me captivated from start to finish. So that was your number 2, huh?
Yep.
My number 1 is a tie.
Okay.
2 movies that we've talked about a lot on the show recently. Kidnapped and Inside.
Okay.
One is traditional home invasion robbery.
Stealing money.
One is stealing babies.
Yeah.
Both burglaries.
That's right. Baby burglars.
But Kidnapped. Man, I think you need to watch it one more time.
Yeah.
I think you need to see it again.
Yeah, well, I
hope you'll... I know it pumped it up so much, but...
Well, I was pissed when it was done. I was like, fuck this movie. And then I kept thinking about it. And I was like, wait, not fuck this movie. This was a good movie.
Fuck this movie and the fact of like, oh, there's no redeeming factor.
Yeah.
The good guys...
It's a punch in the gut.
Yeah, it's a hard movie to watch.
Yeah.
So,
but very well done.
Very well done. Very well made.
My number 1 comes from a slightly different direction than yours, and that's The People Under the Stairs.
Yeah. Wow, not even on my own mention, but would have made my list if I would have thought about it.
Another robbery gone wrong. And this time it's leather-bound shotgun-wielding daddies and their albino cannibal kids.
And Fool and Ving Rhames.
Yeah.
And a dog. The story of a boy, his dog.
And Ving Rhames.
And Ving Rhames. Band-Aid on the back of the neck. Gotta keep the soul in. Soul's been stole? Okay. Gotta put the Band-Aid up.
That's right.
Honorable mentions. My honorable mentions. Return of the Living Dead 3. When they steal the dad's key card.
Yeah.
Julie. They steal the key card. He goes in there. He's got to rob her back.
That's right.
It's a robbery plot. Doom Generation.
Yeah. With the head on the hot dog rollers.
Very great robbery scene. The Collector. Not a great movie, but set based on a robbery, and it doesn't make any sense. Bad writing, but enjoyable watch.
I've seen the movie. I just don't remember any of it.
Yeah. It's because there's nothing really to remember.
Right.
Some good kill scenes.
Yeah.
Nothing much. If you never saw it, it wouldn't matter. But if you saw it, it's all right. Don't Breathe.
I haven't seen that yet.
You still haven't seen Don't Breathe.
Still not seen it yet.
You gotta see it. My last honorable mention, not a horror movie, but for my money, probably would have been my number one if it was a horror movie. But Alex and the Droogies from A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, it's still
Alex at Large.
It still fits
Exploitation.
the post-mortem
talked
theme.
about,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of robberies.
Yeah.
Giant penis to the head.
Yeah, some rape, some beatings.
Rape, robbery, beatings.
Another day in the world of post-mortem.
You beat your meat to rape out the seed.
Yeah.
And then what was the last part?
Rape, robbery, and beatings. And then
beatings to rape yourself and rob yourself of the sperm.
That's right.
There you go.
Rob yourself of future children. All right. I actually don't have any honorable mentions.
Okay. So that's it for robberies then.
Yeah. That's it for this episode. So I guess...
why don't you contribute to our Patreon? So
Yeah.
Steal $1 to $5 or to 10, 20...
but
any denomination from you.
But we're giving something back on that. Yeah, go check out our Patreon. We got a lot of content there. We've got the postmortem off topics. We've got the Strogs docs. We've got creepypastas. We've got our music. We've got best of JD Horror Deathmatch.
If you joined right now at any level, let's say you joined at a higher level, like 10, 20 bucks, you would get probably hundreds of hours of content at this point.
Yeah.
Patreon's only been live for a couple months. We've been producing content at the ass.
Yeah.
We dumped our musical output. We've dumped all me cutting myself and flying off of balconies and getting suplexed on concrete. It's all there.
Yeah.
It's all available.
We've been adding other content pretty much every week.
Yeah. There's something every week.
Yeah.
I make sure that no matter what, whether it's a creepypasta, off topic, a Strogs docs, no matter what, there will always be something, at least something every week.
Yep.
If not multiple.
Check out our Patreon. Help us to help you. And if you do not want to contribute to the Patreon, but you still want to help us out, go check us out on iTunes or Stitcher. Subscribe to us. Give us that 5-star rating. It's cool if you listen to us on YouTube, but those ratings don't do anything for us in terms of getting attention to people that can give us better
or
sponsors.
Monetarily.
Yeah,
YouTube is stupid.
Yeah. We basically just put YouTube on there for
another way for you to listen to it.
Yeah, another. But if you can get on iTunes, get on Stitcher, one of those things, give us that 5-star rating, give us the subscription. If we can break that 5,000 subscriber mark, it can do a lot of good for us.
It definitely can, and we're close with all you guys, thousands of listens. We're really close to that, but it's the actual subscribers,
right?
The people that actually click subscribe, going to make a difference. So
absolutely, and I guess as H.P. Lovecraft once said, as he went out to the mailbox and opened it up and then had a little frown and a sad tear on his face because he did not receive a generous package from Eileen because he's racist. If it smells like fish.
81 years ago, a couple days ago, H.P. Lovecraft died.
Yep.
Before he died, he once said, if it smells like fish, throw the fucker back.
Lightning strikes again. Lightning strikes again. Give me a weapon of power, which no one else beholds. Defend the gods with honor. Lead the brave and bold. Lightning strikes again. Lightning strikes again. Bequeathed to me by Odin, molded by the dwarfs. Mine the silver mallet, the symbol of the North. Lightning strikes again. Lightning strikes again. lightning flare. I'll take my hammer's rage. I'll split his twisted skull in two. Set his corpse ablaze. Lightning strikes. Lightning strikes again. Lightning strikes. Lightning strikes again. Lightning strikes. Lightning strikes. Lightning strikes. Lightning strikes. Lightning strikes.